Hello, it is Sara Waggle, astrologer and leadership coach here for wellness astrology. Before I get into wellness astrology for the moon in Pisces, I have one, I'm going to say this one time. I'm going to point you in a good direction, and I'm going to leave it at that. I don't practice mundane astrology. Mundane astrology is current event astrology. Okay. It's not so if there's conflict in the astrology community. There has been for quite some time. So if you're an astrologer and you're watching my content and you're pissed at me because I didn't make a call about the election, one, it's not where I practice. I'm a wellness astrologer, I'm a personal development leadership coach. I work with people on, being the authority of their life. I don't practice mundane astrology. So if you don't like me for that, I'm sorry. It's not my expertise area. However, here's what I'm going to do for you. If you are curious about mundane astrology or anything to do with politics, current events, all of the things, I'm going to give you a few people to go follow that I follow. And what I'm going to say about these people is I may not agree with everything that they say on everything, but I do support their astrology. They are usually not grasping at zebras. They're typically very thorough. They do pay attention to both sides. That's how and why I trust them, because I pay attention to both sides. So here's the people. Number one, Robert Phoenix, the 11th house, something or other. I can't remember the whole name of it, but you can do your powers, use the powers of the internet and go find Robert Phoenix. He is excellent. He is older. I'm not trying to say you're an old man, sir, but he's older, therefore he has a lot more experience. Okay. And he's very community centered. 11th house. 11th house is community. And so he has a great YouTube channel. He also has a great Rumble channel. So you can go use your powers to find him. The other one is David Palmer, the Leo King. I have been following David Palmer for a very long time. I don't always agree with him on lots of things, but his astrology is very good, very thorough. And so I do value he feeds my nerd brain when it comes to astrology, because he just does. But go follow David Palmer, the Leo King. He actually did a very good pre-election video a couple of weeks ago that I highly recommend. So go follow him. The other one is Cam White. And I mentioned Cam White. I like Cam White. He's pretty cool, but he's younger. He has not experienced his first Saturn return yet. And that's not to criticize him. That is, he's younger, and therefore it doesn't undercredit him or anything. It's just that people tend to change and shift a lot of things about themselves when between the ages of 27 and 30, and he's right in that age space. But he's very good. He's very thorough. And so those are the three. If you want a more ethereal, intuitive perspective, Molly McCord. Molly McCord is good. I have been following her probably since longer than I've been following the rest of them. So those are the astrologers that I follow. What I'm going to say from my own perspective on the election and quite frankly why I did not say anything or say much about it. It looked more just because we had Saturn, Neptune, Uranus and Jupiter still in retrograde, Pluto at 29, opposite Mars at 29 Cancer, going into 0 degrees Leo in his pre-retrograde shadow, and Mercury entered his pre-retrograde shadow the day after. It looked like it was going to be a closer call. It looked like it was going to be contingent election. And when I noticed that it was certainly not going to be that, then we kind of have to zoom out our perspective and see that there was clearly it was evident from early in the evening how it was going to turn out. And leading up to the election, I kept saying, like, we got to stop having both sides thinking the other side hates the other side. Because and I said this in the video I just posted, the issues that affect you are not the issues that affect someone else. And you got to be okay. You got to respect that. We're going into Aquarius. Aquarius is about humanity, and that your issues aren't my issues. My issues aren't your issues. And we have to respect that. So this visceral hatred towards the other side, thinking that the other side hates you pull out your perspective, zoom out, get your eagle eye view, and see that nobody hates you. But other people have to be in favor of things that affect them, which may not necessarily be the things that affect you. And it's not because they hate you, it's because they have to stand for themselves. And that is what Aquarius is about. And the Aquarius Leo axis is about, is that, and we also have the North Node in Aries, which is the self. Chiron in Aries is the self. And people are just taking a stand for what they need for themselves. It's not that they don't care about you. It's that they have to empower themselves and be their own authority for themselves, which may not be what you need. But I also feel like there's a part of us that all needs to trust God, that God has a bigger plan than any of us can see right now. So as hurtful and painful as things are, there are certainly lessons for all of us. There's grieving for all of us in some way, shape, or form. And what you may be experiencing in life right now may have nothing to do with the election. But God has a bigger plan than any of us can see right now. And we have to trust that because it was as clear as it was, that there's clearly something bigger at play. So that's what I'm going to say about it. I'm done. I'm going to pause my recording and recalibrate myself so I can talk about the moon in Pisces. Thank you so much. I'll be right back. All right. So welcome to Wellness Astrology. This time for the moon in Pisces. Hold on. Okay. November 10th and 11th. This is this weekend, I think. What are we? I'm on November 8th. So yeah, Sunday, Monday energy. So the moon in Pisces. So this is gonna get kind of significant. Obviously, everything's pretty significant at this point. We're still in this is very stressful. We're very stressed out. All of us, our nervous systems are stressed out. Our mental capacities are not okay. A lot of people are not okay mentally. So pay attention to your people and whatnot. And a lot of people are not okay for different reasons. So take that into consideration, that everyone's going through something that's making them mentally unstable or even like mentally pressured and things like that. So there's definitely a lot going on with us mentally, and Pisces exasperates that because it's sort of that foggy, woozy, unclear energy. And so Pisces rules the feet. So think about your feet. Think about yourself being feet flat on the floor. You just sort of, as you're walking around the house, especially if you're barefoot or even if you wear slippers around your house, but do you keep your toes and your heel on the floor and distribute your weight through your feet? To keep you grounded, to keep you connected to the earth. If you are in a climate that is still sort of warm weather, this would be a good time to go walking through the grass barefoot, to really get that energy, those electrical impulses from the planet, to help you stabilize. Also check on your loved ones. Be really attentive to your loved ones, your friends, your family who may be going through a lot of mental strife. I'm not saying this in the least bit facetiously, because I think that there is a lot of people moving through a lot of stressful, upsetting energy right now. And that is part of the process. We are going through a grieving process. In any way, shape, or form that you are experiencing grief, because we have Pluto at 29 degrees that just Mars is now at 2 degrees of Leo, so it's kind of past the opposition point, but that Pluto opposition Mars is intense AF. That was the lesser of the intense oppositions at 29 Capricorn, 29 Cancer. That was the lesser of the tense Mars opposition Pluto. There are two more, and they will be at 0 Leo, 0 Aquarius. That one's going to be hard. That one's going to be more intense. So we are not done with intense energy whatsoever. In fact, the whole year 2025 is probably going to be very, very stressful for many people. Now, you may not be experiencing stress. You may be fine. Okay, so because the astrology affects us all differently, but also there's levels of which people have done healing work. There's levels at which people have faced their shadows. There's levels at which people have sought truth or sought out connection with self, with spirit, with God, with all of those things, and have sort of dissolved their the fogginess with the media or with falsehoods and whatnot. And so, but that being said, many of us may still be experiencing some level of fogginess, even if we've done a hell of a lot of healing work. Healing work never stops. And the more we up level and almost the faster we up level and accelerate, which is what's happening now, is now things are going to start to accelerate. Not quite yet, but it's going to start to feel like it real quick. But the more things accelerate, the more you're going to find that you have some healing left to do, or you have some uncovering left to do. And we're still in Scorpio season, so this digging to the nitty gritty bottom, the nitty gritty nths of finding that part of you that still needs some work, that still needs to see a shadow, or have an exposed shadow, that sort of thing. Like there could be some of that coming up as things continue to accelerate. We've been flooded with a lot of light from all of the solar energy. Let's not discount that, because that has been an important factor through all of that. The Suspicious Observer here on YouTube is a good thing to follow. If you are on TikTok, you can follow Erin Brown. I found her and I really like her. She's also from Illinois, so there's, there's that common state resonation. So just know that things are happening for us to heal, but that not everyone is ready or willing or open to healing. And also check your ego here, because all of us is susceptible to an ego death right now, or a part of our ego that we weren't ready to maybe expose, or a part of our ego we weren't ready to heal, or a part of our ego we wanted to hold on to. Remember that our ego is our earthly brain, lower self, kind of, human self type of vibration, whereas our higher self, our spiritual self is the higher frequency. And so we're all kind of going through an ego death, or a part of our ego, or a part of our human self that's got to kind of dissipate as we move through this, because our soul knows some shit that our ego can't be with sometimes. And the inner child stuff, inner child work, and healing up those childhood traumas and whatnot. So therapy, coaching, working with a professional or a practitioner who knows these things. If you are in need of that type of service or assistance, please let me know. I know people. I know coaches who work with inner child stuff, who work with emotional intelligence stuff. And so I can tell you your astrology chart and how emotional things might affect you, but I definitely know coaches who can support you through all of that. And my crown chakra is like lit up right now. So I hope that means I'm on the right track. But pay attention to your feet. We also have Venus moving into Capricorn. I love Venus in Capricorn. I happen to have Venus in Capricorn, but that means that Venus and Pluto are bookending. So Venus is at 0 degrees and Pluto is at 29. So they are bookending Capricorn. Capricorn is earth energy. It's feminine. And now we have the feminine Venus stepping into Capricorn. So that kind of highlights the feminine energy, and not to be confused with feminist energy, but feminine energy. There is a difference. Learn that, look that up. What else? Mars is moving into a harmonious aspect with the North Node and the South Node, which are about 2 months away from being done with Aries Libra. But Mars and Leo loves that individual shiny star. It's the sun rules the sun rules Leo. And the sun is exalted in Aries, which is Mars. So you got to think that Mars and Leo, even though he's about to station retrograde in about a month, but Mars and Leo in a trine to the North Node and in a sextile to the South Node, this is a harmonious transit. The stronger of which being the trine to the North Node. So the individual, we're heading into very, very quickly. What is this? The 10th and 11th. So we're 8 days away from Pluto moving into Aquarius for the next 20 years of our lives. And so the significance of the individual and the collective, right? Let me know in the comments. Would you like me to do a little bit of a breakdown of Pluto and Aquarius and what that might look like, and what these planets, Neptune moving into Aries, Saturn moving into Aries, Uranus and Gemini. If you would like me to do a video about those planets and what that might look like, let me know. Drop me a comment. I'd love to hear that. That you guys want that. Sometimes I pop out a video just because I want to, but if you guys want that kind of stuff, I can do that kind of stuff. Something that I did over on my personal Facebook page was like a Astrology Curious video series where I kind of just went through the basic nuts and bolts of astrology, of the planets, of the zodiac, of the elements and things like that. So yeah, that happened over on my Facebook page and people really loved it. So that's great. But if there's things that you want me to do, let me know in the comments. I'll do what I can and whatnot, and to produce that. But the uh where I was going with that is Leo is about the individual shining star, and Aries is the self, the I am, the I'm going to do this shit, I'm independent, all of those things, right? And so Mars trining the North Node in Aries is a lot of individualized energy. And then the harmonious aspect to the South Node, the sextile to the South Node, sort of to me indicates like, okay, I have to prioritize me, but I'm happy to also prioritize the people that I'm in relationship with. That means upholding your boundaries, saying no to being a part of this so that you can be a yes to that for yourself. And as long as you aren't needed in that situation, knowing that it's okay to say no to that situation so that you can be a stand for yourself. So we've got a lot of individualized energy coming up. The Leo Aquarius is in the individual versus not versus, but the individual and the collective, as is Aries Libra, the I am versus who I'm in relationship with. So anyway, so pay attention to your feet, pay attention to your emotions, pay attention to water, cleanse, all of those sorts of things. All right, let's see what's up with the tarot. I think I've kind of rambled enough, don't you? Hopefully everybody's doing okay. If you're not, please get support where you need it. This stretch of time is going to be very stressful. As I said, Mars is in retrograde shadow, meaning he's going to retrograde in December. Mercury is also in pre-retrograde shadow. He is going to retrograde on the 25th of this month. And we have a potent full moon coming up on the 15th that is conjunct Uranus. Uranus is our little disruptor dude. And that happens days before Pluto moves into Aquarius, but it also happens as Saturn stations direct. So there's a lot coming up movement wise. Once these planets start moving and shaking, it's going to be a ride. So remember that we're all in preparation mode. And part of preparation is grieving. Part of preparation is feeling our feels and seeing all of the the shadowy things that we don't like to see, unfortunately. So it's a tough time, but it doesn't have to be a tough time, because let go, hold on to the rafter. Like I said before, if you're laying on a raft and you reach back and you grab a hold of the raft and you just let the water carry you where you're meant to go, because it's all going to be okay. I know that that doesn't seem like it right now, but I promise that it's all going to be okay. Okay, let's see what we got tarot wise. Um, the Empress in reverse, Dr. Crusher. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I have a sliver of light, sunlight coming through my window. There we go. That's better. And it was disrupting my camera's ability to see the card right. Okay, the Empress in reverse. A lot of confusion, a lot of inability to trust God right now. And this is Saturn in Pisces. This is Saturn in Pisces. It's people not being able to trust God, not having a strong a relationship with God source universe, or the relationship feels broken or it feels damaged, or I can't because I can't have a relationship with God because I don't believe God is doing good. And so that's what this Empress in reverse is people are struggling with their relationship with God source universe. And I 100% know that this is true just from what I'm seeing on social media. That people don't trust, that people have lost their faith. They've lost their faith in things around them, whether that is God's source universe, or they've lost their faith in the people. They've lost their faith in the government. I totally get it. I really get it. My heart goes out, and trust God. Trust that there's a bigger plan than we know. We don't know. Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn is hidden secret meetings. It's hidden secret things that we don't know about. So, and Neptune at the final degrees of Pisces is about not getting all of the information, or getting unclear information. Okay. So you combine those two together, and you have we're not getting the clarity. We don't know everything. And we want to think we do. Our ego wants to be like, I know everything. But unfortunately, we don't. We don't know everything that's going on. And so that's why I'm saying we kind of got to be open to not knowing, because we don't know a lot of things right now. And we may not be willing to hear things too. I think that's a huge part of it as well, is there are a lot of things we don't want to hear. So we sort of shut ourselves off. That goes back to that blind spot that I talked about the other day. We got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This is Guinan. Oh, I think people feel very stuck. They feel very trapped. They feel like they are going to lose everything. That is not going to happen. I think that this goes back to the Empress in reverse too. Like, people aren't trusting that it's all going to be okay, which means that not only do you not trust the people around you, you don't trust government, but you don't trust God. And I think this all goes back to God source universe and that Saturn in Pisces. Now, Saturn in Pisces is stationed. It's going to go direct on the 15th, but it will be a hot minute before it moves forward. So there's clearly something at that 12 degrees that we're needing to know. Maybe I'll do some research on the Sabian symbol. I don't get into the Sabian symbols, but they are helpful to understanding degree points in astrology. They're just a way of describing, of kind of illustrating the degree a little bit better. I kind of feel like I need to get into that. Add that to the list of things I need to practice. Anywho, but that's what the Saturn station is people are losing their faith. And so, they're losing their faith in God, they're losing their faith in humanity. But it's also bigger picture wise, we kind of need to trust that there's things that we don't know and things that maybe we're not willing to know. And so, yeah, this is where the astrology gets hard, because I got to tell you things you don't want to hear. And I'm sorry, but this is my job. There's stuff I don't want to know. There's stuff I don't want to experience. Trust me. Trust me, trust me, trust me when I tell you there is shit in my life that people don't even know about, that I don't want to be experiencing. And I am, because that's part of life. In the Dark Magic MAGICK deck, we got Mirror, Reflect Your, what? Reflect Yourself. You know, it's interesting I drew this card today because as I was feeling into the Pisces energy, I obviously Pisces rules the feet, and I did a virtual retreat a few years back. And during the retreat, we did a mirror work session. If I find, we did a mirror work session, and during the mirror work, you could see all of us as we moved from our face to our torso to our legs to our feet. And the practitioner, the facilitator of the retreat, I remember her distinctly saying, when she got to the feet, she saw everybody's face lighting up, and we all had a story to tell about the magic of our feet, right? Like I talked about my feet climbing mountains and walking on beaches and getting me around in different cities and things like that. And other people had their own stories, like how their feet walked them to this, that, or the other thing. And so it's interesting that I picked mirror because that's what I thought of this, that was what I thought of when I was thinking of this moon in Pisces is the mirror work and doing mirror work and reflecting yourself. So I really, really encourage you that if you're struggling with with not having faith in yourself or not having faith in God's source universe, is do some mirror work. Do some mirror work. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at your whole body, naked if you feel it. I'm a fan of naked mirror work, but you do you. Um, but really look at your body, look at yourself, look into your own eyes. If you cannot do mirror work because you're blind, do a full body, like touch your face, touch your feet, love on your feet, touch your body, feel, like put your energy towards the different areas or regions of your body to feel yourself. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you all so much. I will talk to you on the next video. Have a great one. Bye.